You are in the gym 5, maybe 6 days a week. You are pushing through the joint stiffness, ignoring the deep fatigue, and grinding out those heavy sets because you absolutely refuse to let age soften you. But your chest is looking flatter. Your arms feel softer. And despite all that sweating, a stubborn, heavy layer of fat is wrapping around your lower stomach. You probably think you just aren't working hard enough. You think you need to add another day of cardio or push for more reps. Stop right there. Your effort is not the problem. Your discipline is not the problem. The problem is that you are unknowingly walking through the 7 distinct stages of age-related muscle burnout. You are applying a 30-year-old's biological formula to a 60-year-old engine, and it is quietly tearing your physiology apart from the inside out. Most men watching this are currently trapped in level 3 or level 4, wondering why their body feels like it is made of lead. But by the time you reach level 7, your body enters a state of panic so severe that it actually begins to digest its own muscle tissue just to keep you alive. Today, we are going to walk through all 7 levels of this biological collapse. You are going to find out exactly which stage of burnout you are trapped in right now, and then I am going to show you the ancient, battle-tested recovery protocol that elite warriors use to stay structurally dominant well into their twilight years. Every single level we cover builds directly on the last. Stay with me. Let's diagnose the problem. Level 1 is the silent trap. I call it the ghost pump. In your 30s, you would hit a heavy chest and arm workout, and your muscles would engorge with blood and nutrients. You would walk out of the gym with a pump that lasted for 2 solid days. You felt like you were wearing thick armor. At level 1 burnout, that pump completely vanishes. You go to the gym, you lift the heavy iron, but your muscles stay completely flat. They feel soft to the touch, almost spongy. Most men panic here. They think, I must be losing muscle, I need to lift heavier tomorrow. That is the exact wrong move. Your muscles aren't shrinking yet. They are simply starved. Inside your muscle fibers, you store a fuel called glycogen. Every time you train, you empty that tank. After 60, it takes your body significantly longer to restock that cellular fuel. When you train a muscle group again before that tank is completely full, the muscle stays flat, weak, and deflated. You are bringing a completely empty weapon into battle, day after day. But instead of resting, you push through it, and that shoves you directly into level 2. What do you think happens to your sleep when you exhaust your body every single day? Logic says that a hard workout should make you sleep like a rock. Welcome to level 2, the Midnight Overdrive. You drag yourself through your day feeling like a zombie. You are physically exhausted. But when your head hits the pillow, your brain refuses to shut off. You toss and turn, and by 2 a.m., your eyes are wide open, staring at the ceiling. This isn't insomnia. This is your central nervous system screaming for help. Your nervous system is the electrical grid that powers your muscles. When you lift heavy weights too often without the proper rest windows, your brain stops viewing your workouts as exercise. It starts viewing them as a constant, daily physical attack. It literally thinks you are in danger, so it leaves your sympathetic nervous system, your fight-or-flight response, switched to the on position permanently. You are exhausted, but your biology is terrified to let you sleep because it thinks it needs to be ready to survive another physical trauma tomorrow morning. If you don't fix the electrical grid, the physical structure starts to buckle. That brings us to level 3. Level 3 is where the pain changes zip codes. We call this the tendon shift. Up until now, your muscles were just tired. But eventually, an exhausted muscle fiber simply refuses to contract with full force. It is a biological self-preservation mechanism. But you are a disciplined guy. You are still in the gym, forcing the barbell up. So if the muscle won't do the work, who does? Your joints. The mechanical tension bypasses the exhausted muscle belly and gets dumped directly onto your tendons, ligaments, and joints. Suddenly, you aren't feeling that deep, satisfying burn in your chest or your quads anymore. Instead, your elbows feel like they are filled with broken glass. Your knees ache for hours after a simple set of squats. Your lower back feels like a rusty hinge every time you bend over to tie your shoes. You are no longer breaking down muscle to build it up. You are grinding down your connective tissue. You are wearing out the hinges on the door because the frame is too weak to hold it. Before we cross into level 4, which is the absolute tipping point where your hormones actually start working against you, I need you to be honest with yourself. Which of these first three levels is hitting closest to home right now? Are you walking around with the ghost pump of level 1, or are your elbows and knees suffering from the tendon shift in level 3? Drop your level in the comments below. Look at the men commenting alongside you. You are not alone in this fight, but today is the day we fix it. Let's get back into it. If you ignore the joint pain and keep training 6 days a week, you enter level 4. This is a purely chemical disaster. This is the cortisol flood. Every time you lift a weight, your body releases cortisol. It is a stress hormone, and in small doses, it is entirely normal. In your 30s, your liver would clear that cortisol out of your bloodstream within a few hours of leaving the gym. But aging changes the game. As a man crosses 60, his ability to clear stress hormones is severely delayed. If you are training 5 or 6 days a week, that cortisol never actually leaves your system. It pools. It accumulates. You are walking around in a chronically elevated state of stress. Why does this matter? Because cortisol is a highly catabolic hormone. Its primary biological job is to break tissue down for fast energy. If cortisol is chronically high, muscle building is biologically impossible. You are essentially pouring acid on a steel beam and wondering why it is rusting. And high cortisol doesn't travel alone. It brings a very ugly friend, dragging you straight into level 5. Your body operates on a hormonal seesaw. On one side is testosterone, the hormone that makes you hard, driven, and muscular. On the other side is cortisol. When cortisol stays spiked day after day from overtraining, your testosterone gets suppressed. It crashes. When your testosterone drops, your estrogen levels naturally become dominant. Your entire endocrine system starts softening. The cruelest part of level 5 is what happens in the mirror. Your body starts storing a thick, gelatinous layer of visceral fat directly over your lower belly and your chest. You are working out harder than ever, you are lifting heavy weights, but you are physically softening because your hormones have flipped against you, which triggers the final warning light in level 6. By level 6, your systemic fatigue is so profound that your brain starts cutting power to your extremities to save energy. You go to pick up a heavy dumbbell, and your grip fails long before your back does. You struggle to open a new jar in the kitchen. When a man's grip fades, it means his central nervous system is officially waving the white flag. And finally, if you refuse to listen to the warning signs, you reach level 7, systemic auto-cannibalism. At this stage, you are in a state of severe overtraining combined with age-related muscle loss. Your body is under so much daily trauma from the gym and is so starved of deep restorative rest that it enters a severe survival state. It desperately needs amino acids to repair your vital organs and manage the massive inflammation you are causing. Because your testosterone has crashed and your cortisol is maxed out, it cannot pull what it needs from the food you eat. So it targets the only available source of high-quality protein you have left, your own muscle tissue. Your body literally begins eating your own biceps, your lats, and your chest muscles just to survive the daily beatings you are giving it in the gym. You look frail. You feel fragile. The armor is completely gone. So how do we reverse this systemic collapse and start building dense, functional armor again? We look to the recovery protocol of the ancient elite, the warriors who maintained their structural dominance well into their twilight years. They understood a fundamental truth that modern science has only recently confirmed for men over 60. Victory isn't won by staying on the front lines until you break. It's won through strategic rotation. In ancient infantry, the most experienced units were never kept in constant battle. They would strike with absolute devastating intensity and then immediately retreat to the rear to rebuild their strength while the next line took the lead. Modern biology proves this is the only way for you to grow after 60. Research established that muscle protein synthesis in men over 60 remains elevated for 48 to 72 hours following a session. This is a much longer construction window than younger men have. If you train that same muscle again before 48 hours, you are sending a demolition crew back in before the builders have finished. You end up with permanent rubble instead of a building. This is the battle-tested protocol for the elite 5%. The 7 2-hour rotation, you must train each muscle group exactly twice per week, not once, which leaves the synthesis window underactivated, and not every day, which destroys it. The 4-day strategic split. You follow an upper-lower split, upper body on Monday and Thursday, lower body on Tuesday and Friday. The recovery command. This structure guarantees every major muscle group receives 2 training signals per week, with a minimum of 72 hours of silent, uninterrupted repair time. On your off days, you perform active recovery walking or mobility work. This keeps blood flowing to flush out the excess cortisol without triggering a new stress response. Stimulate the muscle, do not annihilate it. The men still building muscle at 72 aren't genetic outliers. They are the men who found the frequency sweet spot and refused to leave it. If this breakdown changed how you look at your training today, hit the like button. It helps push this message out to other men who are burning themselves out in the gym. If you have a training partner who refuses to take a rest day, send this directly to him. And if you want more uncompromising, science-backed protocols to rebuild your body, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.